Okay, so good evening, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Hope you moved somehow. Okay, my name is Dave Ruzius, I work for Prace.cz, I'm a product manager there. Tonight I'm going to talk a bit about formalizing the discovery process, what is the theory we got to know recently, and how we are actually doing it in Prace.cz. Create statements from Isaac Newton, so make a lot of guesses and try to discover something cool. First question for the audience, who knows what is common between all of these things? Except you, or you? Anyone? Try to think for yourself, like Wi-Fi, CD, a weird rabbit called Nike.
They all round.
No. These are actually all Dutch inventions. I don't want to be some chauvinist pig, but these are all things that were discovered and invented by the Dutch. So, including the donut, or the Americans think
And what about a cow?
the cow is a Frisian black and white cow. And this type of race, which is producing the most milk as possible, was invented by the Dutch.
This is like for breeding.
Exactly. So apparently the Dutch have been quite busy discovering, inventing new cool stuff, and luckily, so do I. The question is, from you guys, who's spending of their time at least 5% in thinking about new cool ideas, discovering new products, new features, investigating stuff? At least 5%. Raise your hands. At least 10%? At least 25%? Few hands left. At least 50%? It's crazy. 50% of your time spending on? Okay. That's okay. Keep that in mind. 2 months ago, we had a visit of the Silicon Valley Product Group. For the people that don't know Silicon Valley Product Group, check them out. Martin Kagan, he's my guru, literally. 2 years ago, we had him to visit our company. 2 months ago, we had Christopher Jones visiting us. Check out the website, check out what they're writing, because there's some awesome stuff there. They actually made our company's eyes open towards discovery, how to do it better, or how to do it at all. A thing they said is you need to spend 80% of your time as a product owner, together with your UX designer. Typically 80% of your time you should spend on discovery. Forget about delivering your product, building product, micromanaging your developers, all that shit. Spend all your time, or 80% of your time, on discovery. And do that with a discovery-focused team. And what should that team be? It should be the product owner. You as a product manager, product owner in Scrum, together with your UX designer, together with your lead engineer. You should be this holy trinity for discovery. And you need to be... Is that this water?
That goes down, we have no preview.
And those three people need to be ideally co-located. I can imagine that you're an international company, but ideally get those three people together. Sit them literally, put them next to each other. Other people in your team, marketing people, the other developers, the rest of the company, they all contribute to discovery, but this is the core team. And don't be surprised if actually your engineer or your engineers are coming up with the best hypothesis ideas possible, because they know what is possible, they live the product day by day. So I love my engineers, I seriously do. What they came to tell us 2 months ago was a concept called dual track agile. The core of dual track is, as the name says, dual track. Start separating your backlogs. Separate the discovery process from the delivery process. Discovery is coming up with cool stuff. Delivery is actually implementing it. Dual track sort of makes sure that you end up delivering only stuff that
Use this waterfall.
delivering only the stuff that makes sense. So separate those two backlogs. In both tracks, you can iterate your ideas. In the discovery track, and in the delivery track, like you do now, you can iterate also the product development. So those two things go side by side, and the good stuff from discovery goes to delivery and it gets implemented. Typically what we do now is, as part of delivering, we have some idea, we try it a bit, we test it a bit, and we deliver it, we code it, it fails, etc. By separating it, actually it makes it much clearer and cleaner how to manage this. So separated backlogs. Only validated hypotheses, they go to delivery. So the developers end up only doing what makes sense, and the backlog for delivery becomes nothing else than stories and potentially some prototypes that came out of discovery. What the guys are saying as well is they have an idea about how big that backlog should be. The backlog for delivery I'm talking about. They say only 2 to 4 weeks of work, typically in our case 2 sprints, should be in the delivery backlog. Because if there's more of that stuff, people get frustrated, there happens a thing called backlog rot, stuff that gets there, stuck there, never gets done. Or if there's too less work in the backlog, there's a concept called feed the beast. Your developers are actually looking at you like, please give me something to develop, please give me something to develop. So try to build your tool tracks in such a way that you deliver enough work to delivery for having the developers work for 2 to 4 weeks. How does the discovery? Sure.
It would be
Maybe better
if
we
we
can.
can
I'm in the flow, you know.
we can go back to the slides and
Okay. Sorry about that. How does the discovery process look like? Basically, they're very simple 4 steps. First, define what the opportunity is. Is there a problem you actually try to solve? Is there a business opportunity somewhere? Is it building a new product somewhere? Is it fixing or building a new feature? Define what that opportunity is. Why would you do something? Secondary, create your hypothesis and prioritize them. Hypothesis towards that opportunity. What if I would do this? Would something else go up? What if I would this? Would I make more money? Get more taxi rides? Get more people using product boards? Whatever. Third one, validate those hypotheses. So as cheap and as fast as possible. If you have a rough idea, like what if I would do this, would this happen? Validate them. Don't go in long-term projects and prototyping, just validate them as quick and fast as possible, because I will tell you why. Then finally, dismiss or deliver. And the guys are saying that you should dismiss 3/4 of your hypothesis. 3/4 of your stuff is just rubbish. Just throw it away, focus on that 1/4 of stuff and send that to delivery. So ideally you start delivering less, but much better stuff. I want to talk you through this process and those 4 steps and how we do it at Prace.cz. For the people that don't know Prace, we call ourselves the preferred place on the Czech internet where people find a job. We are basically a very big job board, focused on manual and skilled labor, not so much IT, but more the skilled jobs. 95% of the market knows us. We have about 60,000 job offers online, about 1 million unique users a month, and about 250,000 people applying to a job per month. Sounds huge, but it's not big enough, and there's the opportunity. The good thing is the scale is huge, and that actually helps me in discovering things and in validating and testing things, because we have such a big scale. If you talk about user feedback, well, we got some user feedback. Then the team. I said 80% of your time, product owner, lead engineer, and the UX designer. That's me. And I do spend 80% of my time on discovery. Basically coming up with hypotheses, looking around the company, interviewing people, looking at data, doing data analysis, and I spend my time there. Hamza, lead engineer, more than 20%, actually something like 30%, because we're in the beginning. He gets pissed off by that sometimes, but he likes it anyway. And our UX engineer, UX designer, 80-90%. And we have an intern, 100%, and we have a dog. Helps a lot as well, to get your mind clear. So these are the people, and you can see we are literally sitting next to each other. He is opposite of me, he's here. So literally we're sitting next to each other, discussing the whole day, rolling around ideas, shouting at each other, and stuff like that. So, and that works, and that is necessary, seriously necessary. The process, those 4 steps start with the opportunity. Why would I try solving something? What is the problem I'm trying to solve? What is the monetary opportunity somewhere? It all starts, and I hope you all can do this. There's something like a value proposition. Like, for these and these types of users, this and this feature or product will do this and this, and it's better than the competition because of this and this. And we are ideally to do it because we are this and this and this. So try to do that for that opportunity. Very short. Don't write a Word document of 20 pages, but try to capture what that opportunity is you're trying to solve. Break down that problem. Like, try to understand your problem really properly, not saying, okay, we're not making enough money. That's not really the problem. Why are we not making money? How does that process it? Break that down, and a tool for this could be story mapping. There's a nice O'Reilly publication how to break down problems into stories and story map, where you clearly start seeing how your product, how your environment works, what different steps are there in the process. So try that. Or try quite a funky way how to do it. What Amazon used to do, or maybe still does, is try to write an internal press release about your feature or your product. Like 5 years from now or 1 year from now, if you want to launch it very soon, try to write, Hella, this product or feature was launched, it does this and this and this, and it's awesome because of this and this, and it will serve these and these customers, and it's great, and we did it because of this and this. Try to write that and see if that works. If you can't write that press release, probably you don't have a problem you want to solve. Probably there is no opportunity, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to write that. And do it in so-called Oprah speak. So if you're a techie, don't write, this feature is so cool because it uses so less bandwidth. No, why is it a good business opportunity? So you can read about all this stuff on the Silicon Valley Product Group website as well. So what we did was we started analyzing our own product. We thought, okay, there is something is not right in our own product. So we looked at our own product and said, typically what a user does on Prace.cz, very simple, is he comes to our website and executes a search. It's a search engine for jobs, keep that in mind. He does a search, he looks at some job search results, and we only have two sort of major conversion options in our product. One is people sign up for a sort of agent, that means they will start receiving similar offers to their mailbox, or they go into a job position and they apply. We love people applying, we love people signing up. Those are the main two things actually you can do on our website, very simple. It all goes nice, the numbers are big, but not big enough. So we specified our opportunity a bit, very simplified. I mean, there's some other stuff. But we have a problem, which is we're not delivering enough candidates to our customers, our employers, because they're paying, they're expecting performance from us. And we think there's an opportunity somewhere to get more out of our existing visitors. We have those 1 million uniques, but we, quote, quote, only have 250,000 applies. There must be something out there, but I have no clue what. Seriously, I don't know. So what's the next step you need in discovery is to define hypotheses. Like, what if I would do this, then maybe something would happen. You need to define those. And what is a hypothesis? What is a good hypothesis? It's an educated guess. Educated guesses because it's not like if we make the sky pink with glitters, then suddenly business will go up and you know nothing about pink and glitters. It's an educated guess because you know your market, you know your business, you know your existing product if you have one. So hypothesis should already be somewhere close to the solution, sort of like, there's something broken here or something that could be improved here. What if I would do this? What would be the result? And hypotheses you need to be able to validate those. If you are not able to validate a hypothesis, like what if I would move Europe to the US? It can't be done, you can't validate it. So forget about those. It's relatively easy to come up with loads of hypotheses. Like, what if I would do this, would that happen? If I would change this feature, would that happen? If I would build another product that does this, my money would go up. It's relatively easy to come up with those, but you need to prioritize them. Because you will end up with a long backlist of discovery hypotheses. So you need to prioritize them. How do you do this? By looking at what are your targets, what are you trying to achieve as a company, what is the opportunity size, like if I would do this, in our case, raise the number of applies, how many of applies could I get out of this? If I would implement this feature, do I get 10 new people or do I get 100,000 new people? You need to think of this, you need to do it ahead of time without even knowing if it will work. But you have to estimate what the opportunity size will be. The effort and the fun to validate. You will be ending up validating your hypothesis, so you better make sure that it's fun. And if something that has not so much potential takes 3 months to validate, then probably is not the one you want to start with, because go for those low-hanging fruits first. Things you can check quickly, like would this work, would this not work, what do users think of this? And the last one, effort to implement. Even though you haven't built it yet, you must have an idea or ask your tech lead, and therefore he's part of the team. If we want to do, I don't know, some full-blown machine learning recommendation system, which is awesomely cool, how quickly could we implement it? And if implementation would take 2 years, and also probably this is not the one you want to start with. So that's the way how you prioritize your hypothesis. So for Prace, it means back to the original problem. We have loads of traffic, we have people applying, we have people signing up for this agent. What if, brilliant idea, what if we would automatically sign up applicants to the agent after they apply? So imagine a user comes to Prace, he finds a job, he applies to the job, and we secretly sign him up for receiving similar job offers to his mailbox and get more value out of the existing user. What if we would do this? We didn't do it. Then loads of questions arise. Will the user accept it? Is it allowed at all legally? How would it perform? What other obstacles are there? We have no fucking clue, therefore it's a hypothesis. So the next step you need to do is validate the hypothesis. This is a topic all by itself. I mean, I could do the whole evening about validation. How do you validate the hypothesis? There's different forms, and therefore this is such a cluttered slide. Because on one side you want to validate if there's a demand at all. Would users want to use it? Do they want it actually? And on the other hand, there is something called solution discovery. Is this something actually we could build? Is this something the user would be able to use? So those are two different things, and typically demand discovery is much cheaper than solution discovery. So I said you need to validate things fast and cheap. So probably you'll get stuck quite a lot in this area. And this area is about more like qualitative testing, explaining the why, but not proving that it would actually work. So what type of testing or validation methods do you find in this area? Talk to reference customers. Start collecting people around you, people that love your product, people that love your website. We at the moment have something like 1,500 people that said, yes, I want to help you improve your product. Literally, every time we ask again, do you still want to help us? And they say, yes, yes. And I will throw them a big party somewhere this year. Get those people and say, hello, Hanzo, what do you think? Is this cool or not? Don't do big surveys, just say, we are stuck, we don't know. What do you think? Data analysis. You must have a bunch of data out there, so start using it. It's cheap. I do it. Landing page, fake door test. We know all about this. Like, you don't have the product yet, but you put on a page somewhere and see if people click. Can be done. MVP test. I really love this one because all product managers are always talking about let's build an MVP. You're not building an MVP, you're doing an MVP test. That means you're building something small, simple, fast to do a test. The purpose for an MVP is only a test, nothing else. It's not a product, it's a test. Then there's terms like concierge test, smoke and mirrors test. Basically those mean that you start simulating your system. You are thinking about building a feature, but you don't actually build it. You just pretend if the feature already works. By doing it yourself, concierge, or by smoke and mirrors, like hiding the fact that it actually doesn't work. Zappos has a very nice example of smoke and mirrors, which is when they considered launching the biggest shoe shop online, they had no clue if it would work, so they needed to validate the demand. And what they did is they had literally students going out to shoe shops, making pictures of shoes, sticking them on some statical web pages. If somebody would be crazy enough to buy it, they would run to the store, buy the shoes, and ship the shoes. That's how they found out that actually online shoe shopping would work. And that's a typical smoke and mirrors test, because the user had no clue. They thought they had an online working shoe shop. So, and we use that same principle, I will explain. Low fidelity prototyping and user testing. Don't go in. People love user testing and prototyping and spend weeks and weeks on making the most beautiful prototype. It's a waste of time. Low fidelity. In the other area, the expensive area, you go into full-blown prototyping, live data prototyping, which you hopefully can reuse later, and A/B testing. We love A/B testing, but it takes so much time and money. So how did we validate this idea of automatically sign up of users to this agent? We did some data analysis. How do people behave? How many existing signups do we have? How many people drop off typically? We did some cohort analysis that we saw the life cycle and the lifetime of a user. We did a survey. We actually asked users, stupid us, like, would you like such a feature? And 82% said yes, we like that. But we all know is like, don't listen to users what they say, but look at what they do. But we did it anyway because it was cheap, fast, why not? And then smoke and mirrors. We just took 50 applicants, literally we were sitting behind the computer waiting for the first 50 people to apply. We took their criteria and we signed them up. We signed them up for this agent. They got the confirmation email that they were now signed up for receiving offers. And we started monitoring if we get angry emails of those people, if they would actually open those emails, if they would click through and apply to those postings. Wonder, oh wonder, nobody complained. They started clicking on those mails because they thought they were valuable, because they were in the context of something they already did, and they started using it. Click-through rate higher than 50%. So, ta-da! To delivery. This was validated. Done, case. Literally, this took us, maybe we waited 1 day for the survey results, it took us 1 day to validate that the idea was working or not. That was it. And we launched it a day before yesterday, and it worked like a charm. So, think about that. In Prace, this is literally how our current backlog for discovery looks like. And here you can see a few very funky things. One is, as I said, the list of hypotheses, and trust me, it goes down, is as long as you can imagine. Then we have different validation methods. We made sort of, what do you call them, lists or something? We made sort of different lists for the different validation methods. We have data analysis, reference customer surveys, manual testing, A/B testing, usability testing, this list and to delivery. What is very interesting here is that, yes, as I said, the list of hypotheses is long. The validation methods, you see a sort of interesting staircase almost, because these things are cheap to do. Data analysis, reference customer surveys, and those things there, A/B testing, usability testing, is very expensive. And what I do, and when we are discussing how to validate an hypothesis, we basically think, okay, where should it go? Is there really no other way to validate this thing than by doing an A/B test or user testing? Only if so, we move it there. But you see basically where the preference is, because our preference is for cheap and fast. Then the other interesting thing you see here is dismissed hypothesis and to delivery. This list is still too short. This list should be much longer. You should dismiss much more. But you see sort of the ratio between what goes to delivery and what got dismissed as a hypothesis. So what are the pitfalls and lessons learned for us? It's a common thing. We tend to fall in love with our own ideas. I had some ideas like, wouldn't it be cool if this? An example, one-click apply. Like if people that know Amazon, you can buy something with one click. I had a wonderful idea, one-click apply. I don't need anything, you don't need to fill anything. Just click, 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 next one. Like Tinder, like. It's failed. Nobody trusted us. Nobody wanted to do this. Selecting a job you want to apply to is not like dating or Tinder. It's not like buying cheap shoes. So that didn't work. Finding hypotheses with big potential. We have enough hypotheses, but the big ones, we have 2, 3, 4 of them. We don't dismiss enough hypotheses fast enough. It's an issue we have. We still like prototyping and usability testing. The thing is, we didn't have this process 2 months ago, and our UX designer, he loves prototyping. We have a usability testing department with a lab and shit like that, and they love doing that stuff. And they actually don't like us because I'm putting them out of work, because I don't need them that much of the time, but we still love them. And my company still loves them. So we need to get rid of that. I'll not get rid of them, but to use that as the preferred testing method. Then some good stuff we learned, get an intern. Get someone for free, a student, someone smart, because you'll be processing so much output, so much survey results, check marking, quality of postings we're doing. Get some interns, get reference customers. As I said, collect those people around you that really like you, that like your product, that like your company. Validation is not an exact science. I don't need to know the exact number or the conversion rate of this particular test. I have already my basic conversion rates of visitor to apply, job field to apply, and when I'm assessing the potential of a hypothesis, I just use those standard conversion rates, saying, if I would bring 20,000 more people, probably it will lead to X thousand applies. If I get more people into the job description, probably that leads to X number of applies, because I know those conversion rates already. So I don't need to do exact science, and I can speed up. Weekly discovery meetings, because it's so fast and so chaotic. Every Monday we get together and we discuss what was done the week before. We sort of organize our stuff again, we move stuff to dismiss, we make notes and we put the comments in, and we organize and order the backlog again every week. Prioritize, I tried prioritizing the whole list of hypotheses, it's impossible. So prioritize only those top 5, top 10 hypotheses, stick them up and move them. And iterate. Doc. How to get started for you guys, and how did we get started? Look at your current backlog, where you have a complete mix of technical stuff, product features you are planning to deliver anyway, and rough ideas. Start separating those two. We got everything out of Jira, stuck it into Trello, and that was it. Link them to an opportunity. If you're not able to say, this is a hypothesis that is towards this opportunity that exists in my business or in my product, then probably it's not a good hypothesis, get rid of it. Add those hypotheses, agree in validation, start discussing with your team, like how could we find out if this is actually true? Start doing this, make a note somewhere and do it. Try, fail, repeat, and just go for it, and we just start. We had the luck that somebody kicked our ass, cost us a fortune, but we started. Tools we are using very quickly, sort of best of breed, not yet product board, so I'm very interested to see what they would offer. But we're using Trello, as you saw, for the backlog. We're using Hotjar for doing polls online. We're using Typeform for doing very pretty surveys. We're using Mandrill, we are misusing Mandrill as our tool for getting bulk mail out. And we're using Visual Website Optimizer for running A/B tests. And that's basically it. I think that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dave. It was a very dense topic, so you tried to compress it as much as you could. Now it's time you can sit here and make a question. Everybody can talk, just the format, you need to sit in one of these chairs. So you can start because you had some questions.
Yeah, we should.
From you forgot?
Oh yeah.
Or are they answers?
Okay, so the first thing is I had a question for him, but don't be shy, so you can sit here as well and say something as well. So the question I have on the 80-80-20, it's which makes 180. When you spoke about
It's
this,
80% of their time.
so the question I have about that, when you speak about UX design, I do believe that UX designer should be devoted most of her time to discovery. But there are teams in which the UX designer is also the graphic designer or the visual designer. So, you know, that works a little bit more as an engineer because you need to scheme perhaps, and that is real work. You need to sit down, it takes huge time to do. How do you do that?
The question is what they are graphically designing, because it could be that they're working on something that they are not supposed to be working on in the first place. So the work of my UX designer completely shifted. As I said, he loves prototyping. He spent most of his time prototyping, working together with the user testing team, spending much of the time in the room. But he should not be doing this, because at the end, now we hardly need any prototypes or designs even, because we don't know yet what to build. Only for the stuff that comes out of discovery, you have this sort of stempel that says, okay, this is something worth building, and therefore designing, or prototyping, designing, building, building, the whole thing. So my guys' work completely changed. And we have a graphic designer which is out of the team for the small stuff. But you will see that the work of the UX designer has changed.
So basically what you're saying is that your UX designer is part of the discovery team as you should, and he's fed with these promoted ideas that are worth it to be investigated. Or he's fed with the validation of ideas.
He's not, he feeds himself mostly. We feed on each other.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, I got my guy doing.
So he's part of the validation effort?
Yes. Part of the delivering the hypothesis, because he knows the product well. He's part of the validation effort. And 20% of his time, he's still doing delivery. I mean, at some point, the guys need a design. and they need a full-blown prototype because luckily the example I had here is a backend thing. There was no user interface, it just happened in the backend. But if we would invent and validate a front-end feature, the guy would spend his 20% of the time actually designing that thing. But maybe you didn't get this. If for a particular feature which is very front-end, very user interactive, whatever, probably the validation method is very close to a design or prototype. The good thing about that is it already happened in the discovery phase, and you can take that prototype and design into the delivery, and you would actually spend another X hours on the implementation. But you did that already in discovery, so that effort is never wasted. If the hypothesis requires delivery and full-blown prototyping, then you don't waste it because, well, you would waste it if it turns out not to be true. But otherwise it goes into delivery and you have a great head start and you can just finish the problem.
So it means that the remaining 20% of the time is basically working on fidelity on the delivery stuff.
Yes.
Of the UX, the UX first.
For me, the other 20% is prioritizing delivery backlog, micromanaging the team, getting there and stuff like that. And for the lead engineer, it's 30%, 70% is just the delivery. He's pushing out the product, but pushing out the right product.
Okay. And then another question I have is still on prototyping and validation. Okay. On the right side of your Trello board, there is user testing feature as the most expensive thing. Why is that so expensive? Because you can use it test even just making a couple of sketches and see. So what do you mean by that? And why is it
we put sketching and literally going to talk with people with a few sketches and your laptop, like what if it would look like this, and Balsamic as a tool. We would call that a discussion of reference to users. We don't call that anymore like user testing and prototyping. So therefore literally we had nothing in the last month and a half that actually needed full prototypes and real user testing. User testing for me is what the guys used to do, or what they're still doing, is in a lab, with a user tester, with recordings, eye tracking cameras. We have all that stuff. But we found out actually that for most of the hypotheses, we don't need any of this. So yes, this for me is the most expensive. It is outsourced, it's a different department, so it's a pain and it's a project and it's not going fast enough as I would like to see it. Therefore, yes, I put it there. And we have not done anything.
So some of us may call user testing also part of what you do as part of the reference customer.
Yeah, we call it discussion and reference customer. That's what it happened.
May I ask, what's typical? Just one question. What's the typical size of this idea? What's the typical size? Maybe how to process the idea, validate, and what's the typical size of the delivery? Just to be repeat scale.
Well, literally, as I said, this one took us 2 days to come up with the hypothesis, to come up with a validation method, to do a manual smoke and mirrors test, and to send out a survey, to process the survey results, and to get it validated was 2 days. To get it implemented was, we work in sprints, so it took us a few days and we released it. But that was a few days. We have other things that are stuck in validation already for a week and a half or something like that, because it's a real complex feature. And also this, I never said that you only need one validation method. For that complex feature, actually, I started discussing it with the user. I did a survey. I looked at the data for quite some time. We actually went in, quote user testing, had 5 interviews with people, and it's already taking a week and a half. I still don't have the answer if I should do it or not. So it depends on how complex the hypothesis is. But if you have a hypothesis that says, make this button green, and would that work, would that raise conversion rates? Go ahead. I mean, that will take you, Visual Website Optimizer will take you 5 minutes, and you have the validation, if you have enough traffic. So it depends. It totally depends. Yeah. And to decide, to sort of prioritize, if you talk about size, we now have a sort of benchmark, a cutoff point, like if I'm not able to Prace applies by at least 10%, then for me it's probably not something worth doing, then I have something bigger to do, hopefully. So, because that's our main problem now, deliver applies, so that's another benchmark. At some point you set those for yourself, like this is too small, this is never too big, but this is too small.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'd like to ask about the relations of the delivery team with the discovery. If you don't see something like a jealousy or how it is with ownership, because it is much more fun to try things, test things, and iterate on it than if you have more complex problem to develop it or invest into it.
Literally, if you would pan the camera to the right, you would see the delivery team, which is four more developers. That's the delivery team. Literally, we're sitting on space. I calculated 50 square meters with 8 people, so that's quite small. No, 25. So they're part of it. They're part of. They are catching up on all the discussions, and in some cases, even to do a simple A/B test or some quick hack or revisualize anything. I mean, they are not so much invested. I found out in delivering hypotheses. I have not in that long list. There's unfortunately not a lot of from the developers themselves. Like, what if we would do this? Sometimes they shout it during lunch, and I write it down. So they're not so much invested in this. But testing something out. I mean, I will not ask them to make a survey, or I will not ask them to process the survey results, or I will not. But if it is a hypothesis that can be quickly tested by a quick hack, we have Google Tag Manager. We misuse Google Tag Manager for everything. We just stick a piece of JavaScript somewhere and see what's happening. They did that, and they like it. But typically, I love the guys, but they also just like coding and delivering and not be part of the discussion. It's a different type of. The relationship is good. And what I think what helps the relationship most is I sucked for quite a while as a product manager, and I thought this has to be done because of some reason. Now I can say this has to be done for this and this reason, and here you can read why, here you can follow why. And on stand-up, maybe that's a tip as well. On stand-up meeting in the morning, we still do them. We do two things. We do the delivery track, like what's going on in the current sprint, and what came out of discovery, separate screen, we have two screens, dual track, and what came out of discovery yesterday. And the guys know, the guys say, there must be someone, that makes sense. And they are more invested there, mostly because of this, because it makes sense.
So you share the insights from the
every day.
Yeah,
every day. Every day. Because every day, ideally, we process and dismiss something. And then when the success comes, when it's validated properly, and it's actually successful, like this particular feature, the guys are like, I actually coded it and I'm quite proud of it. And I share the results. As soon as it went live, we have Slack as well, and I published the results that 500 signups, conversion rate of this, and it works now. Let's have it there.
So there's also one more different answer to that, which is another approach, is that, as they say, it's not all developers. It's very cool. You have a lot of questions because this is the coolest part of the job, is for people sitting in this room. But some developers will just want to love coding and technology, so they just want to get told by you what to do and why. But some of them are actually more proactive in the team and they want to be part of the group. So another approach is to actually do it rotation. The discovery team has just a 20% input for engineering team. Mostly it's because it's the engineering person, he said engineering, it's a tech person, so it's a technology expert, and also because it's a product expert. So we need to move out of the concept that just the product manager or the UX designer is the product expert. Everybody in the team is working on that all their lives, so that's what we do for a living, so they're all product experts. So another approach is actually to take the lead away from the discovery team and just do it on a rotation basis. I did this experiment with my team for different kinds of stuff, and it actually went well. So those that want to step up and do
dismiss any of their hypotheses, even if it's a very technical one. Like, I don't know, use some minifier library to speed up our homepage. Great hypothesis, let's try it. And by the way, yeah, you're gonna try it, but I don't know how that would work. So, and they would say, yeah, 30% faster. Cool. Let's move it. Delivery, let's release it tomorrow. So, the other thing maybe is what I didn't mention is we also hacked the customer demo meeting. So normally we would only present the delivery track of customer demos. Customer demos is part of Scrum where you present what you did. Typically with the delivery part, I hacked it and I also present now the outcomes of the major discovery. And people love it. They're like, oh, wow, okay, cool. And the team, including all the developers, are there as well. And they get the gratitude or the respect they want. So I like it.
Yeah, how easy was it to set this culture in your company? Like, did you came to the company where this culture was already in place, or did you have to convince somebody to build this
Well,
culture?
we paid I think it was 5 million Czech crowns to an external consulting company to come to the company to explain why it is a good thing, and then people believe that it's actually true. So, and then I took that as a chance. I mean, I was frustrated with my work. I was literally ordering backlog the whole day and pissing off my team. I was frustrated, so I grabbed it as an opportunity. And literally, we have 5 product teams in the company. We are the most advanced. We are like a factory at the moment, and we love it. And therefore, I'm still there. No, it didn't exist. And the other teams are learning. But yes, the consultants told us it's a good thing to do. We had in Jira a discovery status. Discovery for us meant always do the copywriting that is necessary for this and this system email, or do the design for this and this feature. That for us was discovery. And I renamed it in Jira to preparation, because this is discovery. The other stuff is just preparation for delivery, basically. So now the culture did not exist. And it starts to happen. The good thing now is also we have business meetings where people are saying what's going on in discovery. Because this is the place where stuff happens, where people are working towards business goals and stuff like that.
And how long ago did you set this up?
The consultants were here 2 months ago, and we started a month and a half ago. So this is fresh, this month.
Several questions. The first thing is the trailer that you show is about one problem, or
What
that
I
is just because what I was expecting is one column in advance,
Yes.
which is where are the problems,
Yes,
right?
yes. I removed 1 slide, I removed 2 slides. The other slide I removed is actually the Trello card itself. I don't have it anymore. What we did, we had a column which is the opportunity. As I said, we need to start with why would I do this at all? To what goal am I working? So we had a column which had the opportunity, but we ended up doing I don't know. I can't do Mac. We ended up doing labels. People that know Trello, you can make labels. And what we did was, we have about 6 major opportunities that are raising the number of lives, raising customer satisfaction, improving the quality of our job descriptions. So we have 5, 6 of them, and we stick a label on the hypothesis.
The color codes, right?
Yeah, the color codes. And basically, I'm very simple-minded. As part of prioritizing, I just look what has the most colors, and that goes up as well. So if I can improve customer satisfaction plus raising applies plus improving the data of the job descriptions, that's one I would like to do. So good question. Yes.
The second question is about the ODX team, and I find out that there is a lot of interface regarding the single screen where copywriting is very important, and changing the visual communication feature, even if you have a great graphic with a great button in green or in red, you don't implement the writing, especially because this is about
It's just another hypothesis.
looking for.
It's just another hypothesis. We did this as well. We have loads of
It's
systems.
not part of the process. That's
Yeah.
copywriting.
It is, but we make it, in some cases, we are sending those agent emails. We are sending there, good morning, how's it going? And I managed to find 10 new job offers. Here they are. The conversion rate is still quite low from those emails, and we think, we have a hypothesis, literally, that if we would change the copywriting in some form, we don't know what, conversion rate would go up. And this is a hypothesis, the process is exactly like that. We'll make a batch of those emails, the new copywriting, a batch of the old copywriting, we'll see if it's true. If it is true, we'll implement a new copywriting. That's how we take copywriting involved. Green button versus yellow button, same thing. We literally throw all those type of things into hypothesis. Unless, and that's what I did not tell anyone, unless there's a thing that's such a sales skill, farmers' knowledge that you just have to do it. I mean, two red buttons next to each other. I mean, I'm not going to go through the discovery process to find out if that's a bad thing or not. So there's still loads of stuff that makes it directly to delivery. This doesn't say that everything has to go through discovery. Some stuff just skips the process and just make it happen. Or so bad copywriting, bad design, if it really hurts or you have the feeling it hurts. Therefore, my last presentation was about gut feeling. If you think it's really bad, then just fix it. No, you test it. Find it. Yeah, it's part of validation. Nothing says that it has to be validated only by you guys. Part of validation could be hire a copywriter, change the copy and see if it works. It's a more expensive way how to do it. If the opportunity is big enough, go for it.
Question. How do you deal with negative features? The hypothesis that if you remove something from your site, it becomes better. Because you already have users who know, for example, this feature and maybe something is not as connected.
We have one of those actually. We have some features that are only available to registered users on Prace.cz, and I'm considering canceling the whole thing. And we have I don't know how many thousand CVs stored. We have registered users, almost 1 million in that database, which we are never using. People don't use us much. And I'm considering getting rid of it. And that ended up to be a hypothesis itself. Saying, what if that whole feature would not exist? What would happen? Would my price go down? Because my other presentation was about metrics. I have a global metric which is applied. So maybe next week, I'm literally going to remove the login option on the homepage. And you will not be able to log in anymore. And maybe launch it for 20-30% of the users. I can use Visual Website Optimizer to remove the link. So it doesn't cost me any development effort. And I will see what happens. It's the only way to go around.
And the connected question is how do you actually check the sheets to the whole product? Now this particular feature which is looking very good outside the product is actual feasible. Everything around.
Incrementalism with local maximums and local maximums. Related again to the previous presentation, because we have these local metrics, which are for us number of applies, number of registered users, or email addresses we have. I keep track of those. And the thing is, there is a risk that this goes too fast.
I will look into what I have product.
Well, like,
We don't have some chronological representation where we can see that there's some updates. I mean, can you check more?
I mean that it doesn't break anything. That